guys, who is it? Hey, look, a motorcycle. They got a Yami. Oh, it's actually pretty nice outside. It was 107. Wow, I work in a shop. It does not feel like 107. It's not that. All right. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a detour, and I gotta think where I'm going. Okay, I'm gonna go a different route home. So I turned around and going back a different way. Well, that guy's bike is pretty loud. I'm not gonna cap. It must be a 650 or something. He's getting on it just to get around that truck. Anyways, right after this light that I'm gonna hit, we're gonna talk about the 2021 Harley Davidson Sportster. Yes, a Sportster S. Come on, trailer guy and your Raptor. All right. So Harley Davidson has done something that is yet again something that's out of the box. That Harley, at least for Harley Davidson, the Revolution Max engine is in a new sporty platform, and true to its name, the Sportster now finally has the sport back in its name with actual sportness. You know what I'm saying? I really actually enjoy the look of that bike. A lot of people are giving that bike a hard time with the exhaust. They say the exhaust, it just looks too, I don't know, it looks bad. I mean, honestly, it's going to be changed, right? Let's just go ahead and squash that. It's going to be changed for those who don't like it, and it's a OEM exhaust. I mean, there's only so much that companies can do with that exhaust. I mean, it has to be EPA compliant, which leads into my next little thing I was going to talk about. Is the EPA basically forced this change of the Sportster. Now, in the United States, we will still be getting the traditional Sportsters. So we'll be getting the air-cooled Harley-Davidson purist motorcycle in the US of A. But everywhere else that the Sportster that is air-cooled does not comply with the Euro something emissions or whatever, you're not going to get it. You know, that's trash, man. I hate that. Like, really, you're just going to take, I don't know, that's a whole other thing by itself. All right, so this bike, the engine, the mill is amazing. So if you watch my other video, I'll just go ahead and pop that up there or something. I rode the Pan America Special. I think when I rode it, I thought it was the base, but the guy told me, no, it's the Special, it's just a black version. I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. But in the video, it didn't say it was a Special. But anyways, so that has the same mill. It's a 1250 Revolution Max engine. It has less power, less horsepower than the Sportster S has. The Sportster S has an astonishing 121 horsepower. Stock, people, that is stock from a V-twin. Now it gets all of that power from, you know what, I'm gonna start posting some pictures up here so you can see what it looks like if you didn't watch the release. Okay, so I'm gonna start just throw those over my face, or over the scenery, the scenery. Okay, so anyways, that engine gets its 121 horsepower. Look at this guy. I'm gonna show you that from a very non-Harley architectural engine, right? I don't even know if I said that right, but that's not traditional Harley right there. It's not. So Harley's gonna make it traditional. Okay, so that engine is a dual overhead cam, and there are some people out there saying, oh, Harley did that because of the Scout. Well, I have a suspicion that Harley Davidson has actually been working on this bike a lot longer. Okay, I think they started working on this bike when the Octane was released from Victory, because that bike is a little bit more beastier than the Scout. Yo, that is a dope truck. I like that truck. Okay, so the Scout, it's not a dual overhead cam engine. It is a single overhead cam water-cooled motor. And when you add another cam to an overhead, it makes a big difference. That's where that extra 20 horsepower or so is coming from. I was really afraid that on that Revolution Max that those covers that we see on the engine are going to be plastic, but they're not. They are magnesium, which is totally fine. I'll do with magnesium over flimsy plastic any day. So the Sportster S, you know, that exhaust sounded like garbage. Sounded like a little fart going by me. I don't know if you guys could hear that. The Sportster S only weighs 502 pounds. I got my little cheat sheet right here when I stop at the light, just to remind myself all this information I have to remember. I'm a busy guy. I can't remember all that. 502 pounds with 121 horsepower and like 90 something foot-pounds of torque. Amazing. I mean, it's going to be a little rocket ship. It's going to be crazy quick and light and flickable, even though it has like a balloon style tire, which are really fat tires. I think it has like a 160 in the back and a 150 in the front, so that's pretty wide. And Harley-Davidson says that they're going to make different versions. Of course they are. It's Harley-Davidson, just like the regular Sportsters have different versions. One thing that is really unique to this motorcycle, actually no, it's not unique. It's not. It's unique that Harley-Davidson is doing it. Is the bike has a trellis frame. Yeah, trellis frame. Those who do not know what a trellis frame is, it is a really good way to construct a frame to make it lightweight, still using steel tubing, but it kind of makes like a spider webbing type of thing. So it's extremely rigid. It's really nice for a motorcycle, and Ducati does it on their bikes, okay? It's a nice way to make a frame. And so Harley-Davidson has done this. And one other thing that they have done is they have made the engine a stressed member of that frame. So the swing arm, it connects directly to the engine. It doesn't connect to the rest of the frame, it connects to the engine. Okay, so the frame itself, the engine itself is the frame. I believe they said it was 3-piece. So there would be a bottom, the rear section, which would be the swing arm, and the front section, which would bolt to the front of the engine and have the forks, the handlebars, and all the goodies on it. Now, one thing that I really didn't expect from Harley-Davidson to do, and you can say quite possibly Harley-Davidson bit off from Indian, and I'll give you that. They kind of did. But if I can find the pictures, I found them on my phone. I will throw them up. Of the gauge. Okay, the gauge cluster. I like the gauge cluster quite a bit. One thing that they've done on the gauge is, well, let me just get through this stupid light, and then I'll get into it. So Harley-Davidson, like I said, I think they bit off of Indian just a little bit, is they went ahead and they made that gauge Bluetooth, and it's Bluetooth with navigation, but not quite navigation, okay? So with that gauge, it has the ability to Bluetooth with your phone, and on your phone, it has, you can have the Harley-Davidson app, which is basically like a ride planner. It's like a GPS. So you could go ahead and use GPS on the Sportster S now. It says turn by turn. So I guess it's turn by turn navigation. If you have your Bluetooth hooked up, I don't know if it would be kind of pointless if it brings it up on your phone and your gauge system. So I am assuming Harley-Davidson allows the Bluetooth connectivity to be utilized through the gauge. So I'm thinking the turn by turn is just going to be by the gauge itself, not by your phone, which would be amazingly dope. Okay. So Indian has the same type of technology. Now I haven't got to really look at it, so I don't know if it's like an individual GPS that is on the Indian gauge. I would assume it would be, because Indian takes it to that kind of level. And their ride command system, it's not the greatest, but if you're looking for a GPS on something and you don't want to use your phone just hanging out there, then it's a great option. This is another thing that Harley doesn't really do, even though they have it. Okay, so Harley-Davidson, from what I've understood for many years, have had Brembo brakes on all their motorcycles. Okay, they use Brembo brakes. Their big bikes have it, you know, the touring bikes have it, Softails had it, they all had Brembo. But Harley-Davidson pays extra to put their logo on it. So that would explain why Harley-Davidson has always had pretty decent brakes. Well, on the Sportster S, Harley-Davidson has decided to leave the Brembo name on. Now, that's probably why it's a little bit cheaper than what I would expect Harley-Davidson to really charge for this bike. Even though it does start at like $14,999, I think, for the base. And it's like $3,000 and something for the crimson red, I think it is, and the white pearl something. It's a pearl white. It looks amazing. Of course, Harley-Davidson has great paint, okay? At first, this bike was catching a lot of hate online that I was reading. And I mean, we really got to give it to Harley-Davidson, because very, very rarely does a vehicle, whether it be a passenger vehicle, truck, whatever, or a motorcycle, very rarely does the concept come out, okay? This bike, if you did watch the reveal, Harley-Davidson did explain basically this is the concept vehicle, and Harley-Davidson wanted to kick it up to 11, not to 10. They wanted to kick it up to 11 when they released this thing. So they were definitely shooting for a concept motorcycle to be released. And that's cool, because concepts, you know, they usually look really cool, and you just thinking, ah, man, they're never going to come out with that. It looks cool. I'd like to probably own that. Yada, 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 whatever. But this did indeed come out, and I'm glad it did, because it looks very, very beastie. It sounds beastie on paper. It sounds very fun and nimble, quick. I mean, it checks all the boxes. Now, the seat, that doesn't look too comfortable. Of course, that's definitely going to be changed by people. And let's just go ahead and face it, this bike, the Sportster S in itself, is going to be more like a bar hopper, a very quick run down the street to go meet my friends and maybe have a short ride night or something like that. Go out at night for a short ride with my buddies, and you know, stuff like that. That's probably what it's going to be meant for. When they designed it, they knew for sure people are not going to go on long trips. I mean, that's just not going to happen. So it has inverted forks. That definitely makes it sporty in the sport world. Okay. Ooh, one thing I do like is the front headlight. There was a lot of people that didn't like the fat bob because of the headlight. They're like, oh, why couldn't they put a round one on there? Well, Harley-Davidson was changing it up, right? Everybody else puts round headlights. Why do they gotta continue to put round headlights? Why can't we just do other headlights? So Harley-Davidson went with that same theme. they put that, I don't know what you would call it. It's not quite an oval. It's longer than an oval, right? Kind of looking headlight. Like a flat oval or something. Just like the Street Bob. I mean, I like it. It flows with the bike. 3.1 gallon tank. That's good for about 150 miles. 150 miles. So you're not going to do any touring on this thing, obviously. And like I said, it's not meant for that. But people are still calling it the peanut tank. I don't know if Harley Davidson is calling it the peanut tank. It's kind of like a stretched out peanut tank. I guess you can call it that. But it's not something you're going to find on, let's say, the Harley Davidson Sportster 48. You know, actually, I think that tank was even smaller. It's not going to take you extremely far, okay? But it does look good. Everything flows on the bike. Brakes look... Man, these people slamming on their brakes. Everything looks like it flows nicely. It does have like a little tiny cover over the exhaust pipes, or the mufflers rather. I think that Harley Davidson is trying to like keep down the heat of those pipes, but they failed. I'm telling you right now, those pipes are not going to be cool. I mean, they're going to cook your thigh. I don't care what kind of heat shield you have on them. It's going to cook your thigh, especially if, like, I took this road because I didn't really feel like I wanted to go on the freeway. I wanted to do this video like just one shot and talk the whole way as much as I could. But it's like 40 miles an hour here, and there's a lot of stoplights. So someone who has the Sportster S and you have the stock exhaust are swept up, well, your thigh is going to be on fire. It's going to be cooking, you know. For someone that's not used to that, you're going to be like, yeah, this bike is hot, man. I don't care about water cool. It's freaking hot. Anyone who runs those high exhaust pipes, you know, it's going to happen. I don't know why they did that. I do know why. Harley Davidson said they were like paying homage to the track history, right? And the track bikes have those high swept pipes, which is fine when you're on the track. But when you're doing like this, I'm just staying here on my bike waiting for this light, and I'm waiting for people to move. Right now my leg is cooking, right? Now, it's not cooking my leg right now, but you know what I'm saying. If I was riding the Sportster S, it'd be cooking my leg a little bit. I've been going 40 the whole way, and I've been stopping at a lot of lights. But, yeah. I mean, other than that, of course, not any bike is going to be perfect. And I am glad that Harley Davidson, even though they got pushed by the EPA to release a different engine on the Sportster because of how old that configuration is, and there's nothing wrong with that configuration. It's a bulletproof engine, man. It's just EPA said, nah, you can't be running all that. You can't, if you're gonna make that bike, it doesn't comply anymore. Which, that's dumb. Euro emissions, okay? But other than that, guys, I mean, I think it's gonna be a great bike. It's gonna be really quick. I think there's gonna be a battle between the Scout. Maybe the FTR, Harley Davidson's probably going to release, you know, they were going to release that sport bike. Maybe, quite possibly, they are not going to kill that, what the heck did they call it? It's like a Street Fighter version. It's quite possible that Harley Davidson is going to say, you know what, we're going to release that Street Fighter because the FTR is out and it's doing pretty good. I mean, we might as well just make that too. I mean, that would be a good choice. I think it would. Anyways, guys, I don't need these notes anymore. I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe take a little ride somewhere, because apparently it's only 99 degrees outside, and actually I work in a hot shop and this feels great out here. So until then, no matter what you ride what you ride, keep it Vbeast mode, and ride till the wheels fall off.
This has been another random weekday video by your very own Vbeast. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, have a Vbeast day.